implementation of the understanding protocols in the peace agreement. Government reaffirmed commitment to supporting cooperative farming initiatives to increase food production. Empowering traditional leaders to foster peace and social cohesion. A very good evening. This is SSBC News coming to you live in our studio headquarters here in Juba. My name is Mayeriam Yok. As the country heads toward general election at the end of the transitional period, leadership of the high-level ad hoc committee constituted is exerting effort to speed up the implementation of the remaining outstanding protocol in the peace agreement. In a constructive engagement with the chairperson of the Constituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, RJMX, George Agari Owino, the chairperson of the ad hoc committee called Manyang Juk, reiterated the bold stand and commitment to addressing and resolve critical issues in the agreement to pave way for the 2026 general elections. Speaking to SSBC, the Secretary of the High-Level Ad Hoc Committee, Dr. Martin Elias Lomoro, confirmed plans and strategies to move the peace agreement forward despite challenges. Dr. Martin commends the positive support and decision taken by the RJMX to continue working in collaboration with the committee for the success of the peace agreement and general election. The RJMX official George Agari Owino pledged to supporting the committee to realize its mandate effectively. The ad hoc committee, constituted by the President, is tasked to oversee the implementation of the remaining chapters of the agreement, coordinated with the electoral institution, RJMX, and all the political parties to ensure timely conduct of election as scheduled.
I must say that we are very glad that the RJMX came with a mood of cooperation and determined to move forward. I'm also glad to hear from the chair that they have been engaging with some of the commissions, like the National Election Commission. I've noticed immense amount of work being done. A lot of things have been resolved or implemented, but sort of not made public, and that's why we decided that now we're going to move aggressively to make sure that everybody understands the importance and our commitment to the implementation of the agreement leading to election. One of the challenges was the IO, following the incident of Nasser, got disrupted. Some members left the country, some members are in town, not known where. Then you don't know really who to work with. But as the high-level committee, we have recognized the interim administration of the SPLM, and they are now members of the high-level standing committee. So the committee is full, comprising of all the parties that are signatory to the agreement, so that we move together towards 2026. So it was very encouraging to see the determination of the chair and his declaration to cooperate with us and to work with us. And I think we are also ready. Our next move will be to consult with other partners and to explain to them that the agreement is moving forward and even going to move faster than before, because we know that South Sudan cannot be stable unless it is taken for election and the people elect their leaders.
I want to thank the chair and to thank the minister for inviting us for this meeting with the high-level standing committee, which was appointed by His Excellency the President some time back. And we know how important that committee is. It's actually the backbone of implementation of this agreement, because the President is at the strategic level. So the operational level of this is this committee, which now works with the mechanisms. And we think that is a very good move, very timely, and we are glad that we are moving in the direction that we want. As RJMX, of course, you know, we have to work very closely with the committee, because we move in terms of what they are doing, and we look at it and we work together. So we are not separate. we're not separate from this committee, and therefore we are glad that we are moving. Now, we are concerned that time is moving very fast. We have 17 months to go, but committed and being focused, we are convinced that we will be able to do it. We will be able to do it working together closely with the committee. And so I want to assure you that as RJMEC, we are part and parcel of this process, and we will achieve what we want to achieve.
A delegation from the Western Bargazal state led by the SPLM chairperson Fedekat's call on the newly appointed SPLM Secretary General, Professor Paul Jimoh Logali, at his residence in Juba, speaking to Press Deputy Governor Joseph Zakaria Garang, expressed gratitude to President Kiir for appointing Professor Paul Jimoh as SPLM Secretary General, pledging his full support. Zakaria also called on the SPLM members to rally behind Professor Logali and support his effort to promoting the party's mission and vision.
تعيينه لسكرتير جديد للحركة الشعبية هو محتاج مننا عشان نحن نجيف وفة قوي وصلب ورا القرار ده عشان ندعم السكرتير الجديد في المهام بتاعه وندعم في العمل بتاعه، لأنه النجاح بتاعه هو نجاح بتاع SPLM ونجاح بتاعنا هو نجاح بتاعه. ونحن موجودين في جراس رود في واحدة من الولايات المهمة، ولاية غرب بحر غزال، عاصمتها واو، وده مدينة ثانية في جنوب السودان، وده عاصمة بتاع بحر غزال الكبرى. واو ده مركز بتاع سياسة ومركز بتاع علم ومركز بتاع ثقافة ومركز بتاع الحرية والوحدة. نحن بنفتخر انه الكلام ده، بالتالي مهم جدا ان احنا نعلن الوقوف بتاعنا مع قرار بتاع رئيس الجمهورية لتعيين بروفيسور بول لوغالي عشان يبقى السكرتير بتاع الحزب الجديد. ونحن دايرين ناكد له انه الشعب بتاعنا نحن على اتصال معاهم. كلمنا القيادات بتاعت الحزب انه نحن جايين عشان نحن نبارك لنا في بيت.
Egypt has expressed commitment to continue funding health projects in South Sudan. This came during a meeting between the National Minister of Health, Sarah Kalitorial, and the Egyptian ambassador to South Sudan, Mohammed El Muhtaf, in Juba, where they discussed health projects supported by the Egyptian government. The cooperation seeks to provide health service to the population. In a statement to SSBC, Minister Sarah stated that the program will reach the 10 states and 3 administrative areas, highlighting the significance of the project in serving lives.
For my ministry is the services that they provide in terms of health. The projects around the country, in Juba and also around the country, and what they are already doing, and what their planned future is, and what is it that we in the ministry or in South Sudan in general. I know health is very important, and providing services to the people is really critical. And with Egypt on our side, I'm sure we'll be reaching out to the population and providing services that we can provide. The need is so much, and we will be going step by step and ensure that we're saving lives and raising the healthy children for the future of South Sudan.
Regarding the files of cooperation, we spoke a lot about how to enhance this cooperation in the future and to do more projects for the benefit of the people of South Sudan with the cooperation between the Egyptian government and the South Sudanese government according to their vision and according to their priorities. Her Excellency assured the cooperation and the assistance from the Egyptian side, and we are looking together in the future to find more projects and to do a lot for the South Sudanese people in different areas, not only in Juba but also outside Juba in different states according to the situation and the requirements of the ministry.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Elbino Akola Tak, and the Canadian Ambassador to South Sudan, John Means, discussed humanitarian intervention to supporting vulnerable population across the country. In a statement to SSBC, the Ambassador Means expressed Canada's commitment to supporting the government in addressing the plight of displaced persons, returnees, and refugees fleeing the conflict in Sudan, stressing the need for cooperation to support their needs. Means also appreciate government support in rehabilitating the life of the vulnerable population, hence cuts in humanitarian funding by the donors.
Active meeting with the Honourable Minister this morning to discuss the humanitarian situation. The humanitarian situation has worsened over the years, compounded by conflict, economic hardship, flooding, and the spillover of the Sudan crisis. Though recent efforts by the government to address humanitarian needs in Upper Nile are a start, I shared my concerns with the Minister on the current political instability in South Sudan, especially in the Upper Nile region. We discussed the government's efforts and the need to address tensions through dialogue to foster.
Our viewers, last half this short break. We shall be right back. Stay tuned for the rest of the news coming next. Welcome back from that break. Is still watching SSBC News. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hossein Abdelbagia, calls on Sundays inspected Monyoik East Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Farm to Logo East Payam Central Equatorial State. The visit was aimed at assessing the progress made by the local cooperative farmers in their agricultural activities. Speaking to the media after inspecting the farm, Minister Abdelbagi praised the cooperative for setting a strong example, reaffirming its ministry's commitment to supporting cooperative farming initiative and encourage farmers across the country to form a similar cooperative. The chairperson of the Manuk Hicks Farmers Cooperative Society, Jamal Abdullah Wani reaffirmed the cooperative's dedication to increasing food production and contributing to the fight against hunger in South Sudan. The Central Equatorial State Minister of Agriculture and Environment, Lily Paul Jurkin, called on the farmers to organize themselves into progressive cooperative groups, emphasizing government support in encouraging specialization in specific crop based on regional strength.
الغرض بتاع الزيارة الليلة أنا جيت عشان نشوف progressive farming اللي حاصل في المنطقة ده. وواحد من معلات أنا زورته محلين. المحل الأول أنا زورته مونيك Cooperative Society. أنا شفت محل بتاعهم هما ده جروب بتاع مواطنين بتاع التيام ده اتجمعوا وجابوا عمك جمال كرئيس بتاعهم. ونحن في وزارة الزراعة وسياساتنا بنقول نحن ما بنساعد أفراد، نساعد السوسايتي، نساعد كوبريتيفز عشان كل زول لازم يزرع. برضو من سياساتنا قلنا دايرين يكون في تحول من الزراعة التقليدي للزراعة آلية هو ميكانيزيشن. عشان كده جابوني عشان نشوف، لأن أنا برضو ما ممكن أشيل البابور الممكن يزرع ل 100 ولا 200 نفر نديله فرد. عشان كده أنا والتيم بتاعي في الوزارة أي كوبريتيف نحن نقدر نديه هنقوم طوالي ناخد زيارات ميدانية عشان نتأكد من الكلام ده. أنا لقيت ناس بتاع المنطقة ده ناس فعالين وجادين دايرين ينجحوا الفكرة الجاد من وزارة الزراعة.
That we should have in our bodies before we take the chemicals which are called medicines. Thank you so much for your visit. We really cherish it. We're really happy about your visit.
And we are very happy actually to see together the progressive farmers, especially Mourning Cooperative Society. Indeed, Central Equatoria is already ahead. We are forming cooperative society in all our counties, and this is the policy of the national government, so that the government can be able to support groups. And soon we are going to introduce to the groups specialization. Others will be a crop like peanuts, others will grow sorghum, others will grow maize, so that they will be specialized in certain crops, so that we can meet market demand. So as a Minister of Agriculture, Environment and Forestry, Central Equatorial State, we are happy with this visit, and we are happy with the commitment of the national government to help our farmers so that we can produce what we eat. Thank you very much.
It is our wish that all South Sudanese should embark on agricultural production. We visited so many sectors, several sectors of the farm. We visited the paddock for cattle, where he brought in
the remains of Brigadier General Santino Deng Miar has been laid to rest in his ancestral land in Lake No County of Ruweng Administrative Area. Speaking at the burial ceremony, the Minister of Roads and Bridges, Simon Mijok described the passing of Brigadier General Santino Deng Miar as a great loss to the people of Ruweng and South Sudan at large. Chief Administrator Stebeno will also extend the government's condolence to the Bulkwach community, the entire Ruweng Administrative Area, and the people of South Sudan. Representing the South Sudanese People's Defense Force, Major General Zakaria Monjek de Bagot reflect on the distinguished military career of the late Brigadier General Santino Deng Miar during and after the liberation struggle.
We have just arrived to Pariang from Ida Airport, accompanying the body of our late uncle, Brigadier General Santino Deng Miar, who passed on last week, and we are on the process of taking him to his ancestral home in view Legno County. It is a great loss for the people of Ruang, but that is the nature of life. Uncle Santino has joined the Sudan Army since 1957, and he served in the army until 1978. Bill farm now grown up, among them our chief administrator and others. We mourn our uncle. And
has served the people of Ruang, has served the people of South Sudan, and he's here at the headquarters for the final viewing by the government and the people of Ruang. And from here, we will proceed to view his home area where he will be laid to rest. We say our condolences to the people of Ruang, our condolences to the people of Bilkwe, and the people of South Sudan.
أنا برايح لتسويلين جنوب السودان وبرايح للجميع بتاعت ليغنو كاونتي للوصول بتاعت جزء بتاعت سيد أحمد سانتينو دين ميار بيلكوي. الوادين طبعا رجل حزين في تنظيم بتاعت الحركة وبرضه في تصميمات النظامي في جيش السوداني. برضه أنا عسكري من قوات جيش النظامي برضه بركباول ويتاول الحركة ترقم لازم أول ترقية بتاع أول داك 87. وأنا دا نقول إنه الليلة دين في الدنيا تم واجب بتاعه نقل من العالم هنا فوق ده العالم الأخرى. فكلمة بتاعنا كزكريا والقدم جزء من جوبا معي قيادات جا معي في جوبا. أنا دا ندي شكر لقيادة العام إنه قيادة العام في بالفهم بتاعت SPLM تم رحل بتاعت سيد أحمد سانتينو دين تم دفن بتاعه في يوم الليلة وده واجب بتاع قيادة العام خلى بنا بيه ونونا ضباط الجبن الجزء بتاعه وانه داير نرجع شكر لقيادة العام نونا انتمينا شغل بتاعنا وانا داير ندي تاهي بتاعي.
The South Sudan Red Cross say it remains steadfast to mandate to delivering humanitarian assistance to needy in the country. This follows a meeting between the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Akwe Bona Malwal, and the South Sudan Red Cross Head of Delegation Mohammed Babakir in Juba on Monday. The meeting centered on the organization's ongoing humanitarian activities nationwide and explore avenues to strengthen cooperation across the multi-fields. Deputy Minister Akwe Bona Malwal emphasized the government's dedication to working closely with humanitarian actors to support vulnerable population.
Besides South Sudan Red Cross, for any humanitarian assistance that fall under our mandate and our capacity to deliver. South Sudan Red Cross has a great potential, although it has been born recently, but it is a network of branches, volunteers, has even crossed.
Government say it has developed a strategic plan to enhance the country's education sector, focusing on infrastructural development and teachers' capacity building. The undersecretary in the National Ministry of Education and Instruction, Kashwal Fyong Mabil, made the remark at the closing ceremony of the 2-week training program on basic education development in China, which was attended by the education ministers from the 10 states and 3 administrative areas. Kashwal also appealed to the Chinese government to continue supporting in the development of education facility and scholarship program.
Event, we have been fortunate to experience a wealth of knowledge from enlightening lectures and interactive discussion to thought-provoking discourses on matters education. In South Sudan, we have created the enabling environment for educational development in terms of policies, learning infrastructure, and teacher training. However, our country's education system is hamstrung by inadequate funding due to the economic crisis the country has been through since independence. We appreciate the fact that the ECNU with the support of the Chinese government, has brought so many cohorts for the last couple of years for training and sharing of experiences in China. I would like to appeal to the Chinese government to support South Sudan in developing its school infrastructure, teacher professional development, scholarship opportunities for our teachers, and provision.
The National Council of the Traditional Authority, in collaboration with the enemies, has organized a training program focusing on the role of the traditional leaders in promoting a political dialogue and social cohesion in South Sudan. The program aims at strengthening the capacity of traditional leaders to contribute to building a more peaceful, stable, and inclusive society. SSBC Isaac Leduro asks more.
A one-day workshop the National Council of Traditional Authority Leaders is implementing in collaboration with the United Nations Mission is focused on mobilizing traditional leaders to play a more proactive role in promoting political dialogue and social cohesion in the country. In his opening remarks, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Peace Building, Pierre Philip Michael, calls upon the traditional leaders to promote dialogue among local communities.
I want to beg you, our chiefs of South Sudan today, to be leaders who lead peace, leaders who say sorry, leaders who plant forgiveness, because the old rule of revenge is taking our country back. Somebody must step forward and say, sorry, enough is enough. You took our cows, Malesh. Because if we want continue with the old rule, an eye for an eye. You took our cows, you killed our people, we shall take your cows, we shall kill your people. We shall not have South Sudan.
The chairperson of the local government board, Majok Agar, persuades traditional leaders to reform communities.
So this one here, it does not mean that when you are a leader or a chief in the area, you are just only working for the people, and you have to abide by their suggestions, not your own. And I think that cooperation between the two systems, the three tiers of the government, must be connected.
The workshop also takes an overview of the influence of traditional leaders in rural governance structures and the relationships of the structures with the formal state institutions. Tadio Mario Sasa, interim chairperson of the National Council of Traditional Authority Leaders Steering Committee, elaborates rural governance.
And we are proud that our influence and the responsibility of the traditional leaders remain always peace and unity. And that's why it was very possible for the state to be created with a unified vision, with a unified future that all of us seek to stay in peace and harmony.
ANIMIS representative described the role of the traditional leaders as critical in resolving grassroots concerns.
In today's complex environment, marked by a complex political transition, intercommunal tensions, and ongoing humanitarian challenges, your role is more vital than ever. Your voices can heal. Your leadership can prevent violence. Your wisdom can guide political dialogue, reconciliation, and peaceful coexistence in this great country.
The workshop is held under the theme Building Bridges for Peace and Unity, the role of the traditional authority. Isaac Ludori Emmanuel, SSBC News, Juba.
Let's go for the second break, which I'll be right back with the more stories. Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching SSPC News. Technical advisor at the Ministry of Finance and Planning, Simon Kiman Lado, has commended the role being played by the World Bank in funding various projects implementation in the ministry, calling for the technical and financial assistance to boost service delivery. Kiman, who once served as the first Undersecretary for Finance, was speaking in an assessment meeting with the team managing the World Bank is funding free finance projects and integrated financial management information system. The meeting that reviewed the progress in the rollout of the integrated financial management information system also focused on deepening collaboration between the two institutions in an effort to implementing biometric payment system as part of the reform agenda in the public financial management. Governor Rabi Majung Emmanuel of Central Equatorial State and Ambassador Bulwek Agot of Warab State convenes meeting in Juba to explore potential areas of cooperation between the two states. The discussion centered on collective effort to enhance security, promoting peaceful initiative and improving health service between the two states. Governor Majung expressed commitment to working together with his Warab counterpart to address key concerns, especially on the security and service delivery. Governor Bulwek Agot said the discussion focused on engagement in the field of trade, cultural program, and peaceful initiative.
Matters of concern. We deliver something or services to our people. And these are the aspirations and also the expectation of our people. As he said, we have been together during the liberation struggle. And this is why I say it now. You become an ambassador, and I have now left the army, going for to another assignment. And with our experience, and your experience too, I think now you're an ambassador, governor to one of the states that having insecurity problems. But I think you will succeed. Together, administer,
sovereign republic. And I believe this is an important state where all government institutions are. The constitution is written here, everything is done here, our president is based here, and we are going to go for election in 2026. And therefore, I want to assure him that I will be happy to listen to him, because my state has issues of law and order. And I've got an extra powers from our president in form of a state of emergency. So that will be a priority to try and tell people that this is a powers that I have to implement. And I need to inform them that the cost will be cheaper if they cooperate to surrender their arms. After surrendering their arms, it is a duty of our republic to protect them. It is a duty of republic to...
South Sudan Women Bloc has strongly condemned the recent gang rape of 19-year-old girl at Kumba Sherkat. Speaking at the news conference in Juba on Monday, the bloc chairperson Amir Manyok Deng said such herculeous acts endanger the life of girls and women, stressing for legal action. The deputy chairperson of the IGAD Women Peace and Security Division, Akur Lake Alier, stresses the need to take legal action against the perpetrators.
Of South Sudan join hands with the concern for women and children to condemn this in the strongest term possible. The recent gang rape incident that occurred in Sherikat. Rape is a weapon for terror. One we must disarm through unity, trust, telling, and justice. Our children are no longer safe. Our communities are torn apart by violence. We need our government, including national security, the police. We need you all to intervene.
Girls are being raped. This is not the only case we're hearing, but it's happening. What if there are so many things happening already? We have villages and girls, we're not safe. That's the only thing I can tell you. But at the end of the day, you need to know yourself as a lady. Be safe out there. But at the end of the day, the government needs to know about what's happening. The police need to awake, like literally. Everyone needs to wake up. This is not only the first case, but it's not a good thing. What if it all always happens? We're not happy. No one feels safe. The youth are not excited. Me, literally.
UN Women, in partnership with Africa Organization, organized a women-focused capacity building program for the security sector. The initiative aimed to strengthening the role of women in decision-making and combating gender-based violence. Lieutenant Colonel Fazia Geneva, Executive Director of the Women in Security Network, highlighted the need for a continued training and awareness to empower women in uniform. Hope Africa Organization representative Chris Aguel Garang reaffirmed the organization's commitment to advancing women's advocacy and empowerment program.
Leadership training, and they are really building our capacity, like EBV, CRSV, which was taken by UNIMES. It was really wonderful training whereby more than 40 20 organized forces, women in uniform, attend that work. Concerning our message, we are asking our partners to take women in uniform for awareness about EBV, and also they have to share in any activities that is done here in South Sudan.
After they create this workshop, this action plan, they'll be able to implement it within their different unified forces, with the police, with the prisons, and just to create that network in which they can work together. I think they are much stronger when they're together than in different sectors. So that's what we aim, so that women they're more organized, they have a plan, they leave here after 3 days with a plan of how they can be more in leadership. And we want to see more women in leadership. We also want to see male involvement in encouraging leadership. Although this 3 days.
The South Sudan Football Federation is set to begin its general election on 15 August 2025. The chairperson of the Federation's Election Commission, Advocate Ernest Paulo Marino, confirmed that the submission of the candidacy documents for the positions of President and the Vice President is now open. During the event, Deputy Secretary Advocate Deng Mathok outlined the candidate eligibility criteria, while Vice Chairperson Advocate Malo Eknax presented the role governing the process.
The Election Act 2020-2025. And then on the 22nd, the Electoral Committee is going to start the examination and notification the candidate to submit all relevant documents that they may not have submitted on the initial submission. On the 26th July, the Electoral Committee wanted to grant the candidate the addition of 5 days to complete their uncompleted document.
To read out to you the criteria to be met by aspirants for the position of the president and the 2 deputies or vice. 1 is that an aspirant must be a South Sudanese. 2, and that when you submit, you must make sure that you attach an evidence to show that you're a South Sudanese, that means you must attach a copy of your nationality with your application. Number two, he or she should be a resident of South Sudan. So that means you must also attach something that shows that you are a resident of South Sudan. A copy of resident certificate will be needed. Number two, he or she should be a holder of a bachelor or an...
That story brings us to the end of our evening news bulletin. On behalf of the technical team in the control room, I am Mayuriam Yok. Stay tuned for the rest of the program coming up next. Bye-bye for now.
Are you suffering from dental problems and looking for a specialized dental clinic? Don't travel abroad. Ozone Dental Clinics brings you home solutions to all your dental problems. We provide the following